Hello students, and welcome to this video lesson on job settings. In the previous video lesson we talked about career research and why it's important to look into potential future careers. Well, one of those things that you need to look into is the job setting. Because jobs and careers take up a lot of time in the course of your life, you want it to be in a comforting yet challenging environment that you're going to thrive personally and that works best for your lifestyle goals and your values. So let's take a look at job settings and how this will enhance your career research. Okay, well first, you got to have some expectations, right? And there's always the expectations versus realities. There's a ton of memes and videos out there on what we think should happen versus what really does happen. Well, entering a career field, it can be very exciting for people, right? But you want to be prepared as much as possible and know what to expect, okay? So when you're looking over a job, make sure you review all information about that job and a career before accepting a position. Sometimes that's even a specific occupation or job within a company, because a company could be different from another company, all right, and how they accomplish their goals. It could be the same occupation, but different bosses, different environments. You have to ask yourself a few questions before you really dive into the expectations versus realities in job settings. Does the job match your values? Is it important to you? All right, can you follow through with the roles and responsibilities? Will the job pay or compensate you enough? All right, a lot of people get into a job, it could be great, but it might not pay enough. So that could be a huge factor in whether or not you choose the job that you think you want. What's the workplace setting like? Okay, how are the people that are there? Is it going to be, a comforting and challenging environment, or is it going to be a hostile environment and one that you do not feel like you can thrive in? And then will the career be long-term? Now, it's completely okay to start your career and not think long-term, but eventually, as time goes on, because you will be doing work for majority of your life, that you want it to be long-term and something that you can grow and develop over time. So let's talk about values in your career. All right, this is a huge, I can't say that enough, impact on your career choice. All right, and it is a I can't underscore how important values are. Let's just put it that way. Okay? Career choices should be based upon your values or your own personal beliefs. Okay? Now, values, as we've talked about before in previous video lessons, values are the things that people care most about and can include people, objects, or things. And people within all types of career clusters tend to share similar values. So if you work within the healthcare field, people value health science and taking care of people. If you work in education, you like to help people develop. If you like manufacturing and architecture, you like to build things or work with your hands. Okay? So here's some other examples. Law enforcement, people who work in law enforcement, justice is a value and rules. Business, time and money. Teaching, people and learning. Childcare, young people. And healthcare, just people and well-being in general. Now, every job or career has tasks and responsibilities, and some tasks and responsibilities may not be for you, and that's okay. But you need to understand these roles and responsibilities before you take on a job, because you don't want to be stuck in a 9-to-5 or in a 40-hour-a-week job doing tasks and responsibilities that do not fit your values or your likeness. Okay, so since each job has tasks and responsibilities that you must complete, every career and job cluster that we've discussed has different objectives and different things they want to accomplish. So you need to ask yourself a few questions before you really dive into a job. Okay? Who will be the people working alongside with or working for? All right. So that's why it's really good to see the people that are actually in that particular business or job setting. All right, because you might like one group of people versus another, even though the career is the same. Now, what tools are we using? What purpose do you serve? right? Some career opportunities, you work with more fancy tools, better state-of-the-art technology, and that might be what you value. And then what purpose do you serve? Are you serving greater being? Are you serving the boss? Are you serving money? These are things that you need to look into. Where does a job take place? Sometimes people get in an argument about, I make certain salary per year or hourly per year, but yet some people only drive 5 minutes to work and some drive 25, 30 to an hour to work. So you have to ask yourself how much time, gas, and effort is spent getting to work, where you might make less with the job 5 minutes away, but if you made more an hour away, is it really worth it? So where the job gets done and the environment is very important. When do you have to work? Do times change? Different jobs require different hours. Typical is 7 to 3, 3 to 11, 11 to 7, but then you have 9 to 5. Then you have other jobs that work 12 to 8 or 12 to 10. Some jobs are, 4 10-hour days. Some are 5 8-hour days. Some require a little bit of tasks on all days of the week. And in healthcare, 3 12s are very common, or weekend shifts are very common. So it's a matter of what you value and when you want to work. And then why? Why are you completing each task? What is the purpose? What are you trying to accomplish? All right, and if what you're accomplishing does not fit your values, you might want to rethink your career. And then how is there a system or method you'll follow, and will you be taught? A lot of jobs and responsibilities, are taught by our certain jobs through trainings, but some aren't. So how are you going to learn, the methodology for that job? Are they going to teach it to you, or are they just going to expect you to know it? And what's the process? So by doing that, it will make your career and job a lot easier. Okay, we're going back to the topic of data, people, or things. Each job works primarily with one cohort, data, people, or things, but jobs can work with multiple cohorts, but one will always tend to dominate the position. Again, data, if you work within the healthcare field, which is our primary focus with this course, is health statisticians and behavior analysts. They'll work with data. This is information. People, home health aides or nurses, work primarily with patients, all right, and people directly. This interaction is their number one objective. And then things like hospital technicians. They work to primarily fix things or control the tools that help the healthcare of people. Now, the work environment is the greatest challenge for most people. How comfortable you are in a job setting, does it pique your interest? Does it increase your productivity? Do you feel supported? It's not necessarily just the physical boundaries of the environment, but the social surroundings of it as well. Okay, so the true definition is the physical and social surroundings while working. Now, an environment for work can be indoors, it can be outdoors, it can be individual, or it can be group related. It can be slow and methodical, or it can be like chaos. It can be rigorous or laid back, and it can be quiet or loud. So it depends on what you like. Do you like that chaos, like an emergency room nurse where things are constantly moving? Or do you like things that are a little bit more slow and methodical, like general care? This all plays into your values and what excites you as a person in work. So every person, and you included, need to visualize your ideal work environment. Every person has a different individual preference, and finding that career environment will impact you in your decisions down the line. Working hours, I mentioned this a little bit before. These are the times that a person completes a job task. Now, traditional jobs are Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, 40 hours per week. But not all jobs follow the traditional hours, like I had mentioned, and healthcare is an example. Doctors, nurses, health aides, and other healthcare jobs can work varying hours. And because taking care of a patient is a 24-hour job. Can't simplify it any other way. Okay? But another thing you want to think about when you're dealing with a career, especially within health, Flex time. This is the ability for workers to create their own schedules. And you find that doctors can do this a lot of times, especially general practitioners. They pick and choose the hours when they want to work, how they want to work, what vacation time, and they set the appointments. And if they're not around, then whatever doctor is working at that time will take on the patient. So flex time is great because it helps people choose a schedule that suits their own lives, their lifestyle goals. And people that own their own healthcare practice or business can develop their hours via flex time. So it's definitely an option if you've developed a career beyond servicing one facility, that you can eventually create your own. Aptitudes and abilities, we've talked about this a lot throughout the video courses. Aptitudes is the capacity to develop a skill with enough practice. Aptitudes are related to each person's best learning styles, right? So if you constantly sing and you're very musical, you're more likely to pick up on a rhythmic style of learning. That's how you will remember things. If you are a kinesthetic learner, you need to be active and involved in touching things. On-the-job experience is very good for you. So just remember, abilities are developed with practice and experience. Nobody is just perfect from the start. Now, the best way to develop abilities is through job experience, such as part-time jobs, internships, co-op programs, or job shadowing. We discussed that in the previous video lesson on career research. And then careers that match a person's aptitudes, learning styles, and abilities tend to be more enjoyable for that person. And again, if you're going to work 40 hours a week, 1/3 of your life, you need to choose what you think is the best career, because you're going to spend a lot of time doing it. Education and training. Every job and career has specific training requirements to be hired. Majority of health-related careers require a certification program, a 2-year degree, or a 4-year college degree, and top-level positions require a master's degree and eventually doctorate degrees. It is vital, absolutely imperative, important, when choosing a career, that a person knows the requirements for getting the job. This will affect a person's, not only their time, but their money, okay? Because getting these trainings is not free. Now, career pathways are routes that lead to a particular career, and you can start career pathways as young as high school, or you can also get into it in college and move towards certain career training programs. Just remember, at any age, you can decide when you want to start a career pathway. Now let's talk about the career outlook. The job market is affected by the local and global economy, and jobs that may be needed now may become obsolete in the future, or not needed in the future. Now, when making a career decision, every person needs to research the potential growth or decline. Now, the demand for certain jobs may drop with technology innovations. All right, and then education and training decisions, your choices, your career pathways, needs to develop on job market growth. Well, you're lucky right now, because in the healthcare field, it is increasing a ton over the last 10 to 15 years, and it will continue because of the growing number of people. Now let's look at just basic growth industries, and these are some projected job openings in the near future. As you can see, now this goes across all clusters, not just healthcare, but you can see even physicians and surgeons, there's going to be an estimated 14,000 jobs opening in the next 5 to 10 years, and those jobs can be jumped on by any person. All right, now let's review this video lesson and the key points. Before choosing a career, research is important to help better understand if a job is a good match for you. Jobs should always match your values, your aptitudes and abilities, and your expectations. Every job has different tasks and responsibilities for each person to complete. The work environment will play a large role in your career choice. Careers should match expectations for your work hours, your aptitudes, your abilities, and education and training. Every person must research the outlook of a career and which occupations anticipate growth. Now, here's some closing thoughts. Your career will take up a lot of time throughout your life, 1/3 estimated. Choosing a career pathway that will be challenging yet enjoyable. Again, part of the reason we choose jobs is for self-fulfillment and growth and a sense of purpose, and not just making money. Every career has its positives and its negatives. It's about weighing the pros and cons and what is best for you. Researching potential jobs will help you match a career to your lifestyle goals. Again, this is part of the career exploration process. It will change throughout your lifetime, but understanding how to get the information and matching it to your ever-changing values will impact you and help you enjoy the world of work. I'd like to thank you for watching this video lesson. If you have any questions, you can feel free to reach out to me. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.